just kind of reminisce and just talk throughout most of this one. So this is gonna be it for tonight. This is the last video I want to make because I can't stop thinking about the topic. And I said, you know what, fuck it. This will be the last thing for the night. Whoops, that's towards Chris. That's not towards my Discord server. So let me share this, and this will truly be the last thing before I here. Alright, turned off internet on my tablet because I wanted to at least share the stream before, I get started with this, because it's going to be a long conversation. It's going to be a fat minute of conversating and talking and just using my voice in general, and it's just going to be me kind of going back and forth and either my experience being a gamer, or gaming overall and stuff. That's what this is going to be about. So I'm going to have like the light on in here. Might just sit on the fucking floor, to be honest. Not feeling like sitting in a stool today. I don't even know where to put the stool, to be honest, but I'll figure out a spot for it. Anyways, so as all gamer stories start, it's where you here, I'm gonna try to find a spot for this and just keep going. I guess here is fine. So this is gonna be like a different my experience, but anyway, so all gamer stories start my experience being a gamer, and my experience being a retro gamer, which we'll talk about the retro gamer and all that other sort of stuff later in the stream. I know there's not a lot of people, so probably won't be a lot since it's kind of late for everybody around me, because they're out either hours ahead of me or something like that. So that's why, excuse me, a lot of people probably won't see this until tomorrow. But I started gaming when I was a young little ass kid, and I can't remember the exact age I was gaming, and I can't remember like the first video game I've ever played, but the game that I can remember at the top of my head was Donkey Kong and like Super Mario Brothers, right? Like Nintendo stuff. That's mainly what I remember right off the bat, off rip, is Nintendo stuff. I will forever remember me playing Nintendo, and as a little kid, I really loved Super Mario Brothers. I loved Nintendo and all of their worlds. But mainly I loved Nintendo for Mario and stuff, because Mario is kind of what introduced me to the broader scope of gaming in a lot of ways. But for a long time in my life, I remember it was Sony and Nintendo. My family was like a Sony gang soup. What's up, Dywin Grimm? What's up? How you doing? But my life was full of Nintendo, but also Sony. Like Sony with the PlayStation 2, and Nintendo with the Nintendo Wii, GameCube, so on and so forth. And playing games when you're young versus by the way, S-Class, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Playing games, somebody else in chat? Yeah, S-Class, aka Al Lunale, yeah. She's also in chat. But playing games when you're a little kid, you don't really think about them too much, or you don't think of them much at all than just being the video game. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get like this attachment to it if you really, really, really like it, like I was with Mario and Donkey Kong and so on and so on. But I feel like my attachment to video gaming was nowhere near as serious, and let me explain. So, back then, I gamed it, right? But like, it wasn't a 24-hour, 7 days a week type deal, okay? For most of my life, I have been a casual gamer, okay? Um, I would play games with my brother here and there. I would play games by myself here and there, but I would never like go super in depth with the video games like I am in today's space. You know, comparing myself, if we're really doing comparison, I was mainly focused on creating YouTube videos and being a YouTuber that, like, more of a vlogger, more of a discussionist, you know, and type of deal where I'm sitting there talking to the camera about Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever. Like, I would play video games, but like nowhere near as hardcore. Like, I wouldn't even be considered an old school gamer yet. You about to be you about to be successful. To you about to be successful. Maybe, who knows? I don't even fucking know if I'm gonna be successful. You know, I'm still, you know, in the stages of it. But you know, I would play tons of games throughout my life, but I would never take them omega seriously. Like, I would if me and Louie were having like a match on like Raging Blast or some Dragon Ball shit, and maybe be serious. No, you, buddy, I'm talking about you. Oh, me? You think I'm gonna be successful? Shit. I hope one day, like, I'll be up there with every big guy, but I don't want to be up there with them if they, like, a part of me wants to be big up there, like, on YouTube, but, like, another part of me doesn't want to be successful like them in the same way, like, in terms of giving you guys constant dopamine, like, shits. Giving your brain constant dopamine to keep your eyes on the video like a zombie, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to be up there in my own way in terms of, like, making my videos entertaining, but, like, not just having your eyes be constantly glued. Like, you can look elsewhere. You can just listen to the fucking audio. You know what I mean? What is special already you do good videos? What is a special already you do good videos? I would say my videos are, back then, I would say my videos weren't too special. And even now, I would argue my videos aren't, like, omega special. They just have this unique charm to them, I would say, in some way, shape, or form. But anyways, back to the gaming, right? Like, I would play my Mario, I'd play my Nintendo GameCube, my Wii's, all in the day back then, you know? But I wouldn't, like, I'm gonna 100% this game. I'm gonna 100% that game. You know, Louie and my dad have always been more of the gamers than I was for a very big portion of time in my life. I've always known them as gamers. You know, my brother would be playing Raging Blast 2, all sorts of Dragon Ball games throughout his lifetime, ever since I introduced it to him. But even before then, like, Louie used to be Gamer 101. My dad used to be Gamer 101, okay? You know, I was more into just making plush videos and I would make a gaming video here and there, but, like, it would grow on me, like, the whole gaming thing, but, like, it, you know, it would be slowly growing on me. I remember I would start playing video games more because of the YouTube videos and stuff that I was making on them. Like, for example, like, I can't remember, I think my first gaming video I ever made on YouTube, it's not on YouTube today, sadly, I think was a Darksiders 2 gameplay video. That was my first ever gaming video on the platform. How do you play Fortnite? I don't play Fortnite. Don't play Fortnite very much. I saw it, like, the other day and how crazy it's changed, so maybe I might check it out soon, but, you know. But in terms of Fortnite, you know, that is a game, so I can talk about it. When it came out, I mainly kind of stuck around when it came out, but then after a while, I kind of got bored of it and kind of uninstalled it, so that's Fortnite. But yeah, but I remember, because of becoming somewhat of a gaming channel, being inspired by like Toby Games, PewDiePie, Smosh Games, so on, so on. I started gaming it up on my YouTube channel more and more and more. And then like gaming started to become like a big thing for me back in like 2014 ish. I still wasn't 100%ing any games back in 2013, 2012, 2011, 2014 ish, but I was getting the general idea of being a gamer, you know what I mean? A gamer, you know? Like all the years prior to that, like I would play, but like Louis, my brother, would be the one 100%ing, completing the game, or 50%ing, or just playing them to the end most of the time. I would just be playing them in little itty bitty sessions and then kind of get off and kind of fuck off from them. That's what I would be doing for most of my childhood. But when I started doing it for YouTube, I started seeing it, and this is kind of like my mindset on it now, but I kind of started seeing gaming as a bigger thing in my life now. Like, it's more than just, like, for example, like when I play a game and I express it to you guys in video live stream format or whatever format, I feel like it makes my gaming journey way more important, way more valuable than just me getting through the game and beating it. Because you see, when I was beating games back then, like, I didn't treat it as such a big deal or such a monumental moment, you know what I mean, before making YouTube videos about them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Crash 4, like, what, you know, like, I go back and I think all the time, like, with Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. What was my main fucking driving force of 106, 100ing, you know, fully completing that game? You guys. So I can tell you guys not to fucking do it. I can give y'all the experience. I can tell y'all my experience. I can tell y'all at home. Super Mario Galaxy 2, 100% completion. What made me want a 100% Super Mario Galaxy 2? You guys, chat, people in my comment section. You guys are the whole reason why I game it so seriously in today's spot. And again, throughout my life, I want to remind y'all, I wasn't a serious gamer, but until I started playing more in Santan, like Call of Duty with friends, you know, PlayStation games for a long period of time, like Pirate Warriors and so on. I'm not going to spend 8 hours going through each generation. I'm not going to do that shit, because that'd be a big time waster. But when I started making YouTube videos about that, I started to really give a fuck about gaming more than just playing the game, beat it, and then kind of forget about it, you know? Like, the videos that I was creating made it, gaming for me, more fun, you know, in a way. I'm not trying to say, oh, YouTube's the only reason why I game it today, because that's not the truth. I even game it all outside of YouTube, especially nowadays, since I've become a full-fledged gamer. I get that, and I can't speak for everyone, but honestly, I'd rather you just have fun with the game than feel like you need to 100% them. Yeah, exactly. I get that. I hope you are no on YouTube, and myself, I know how I feel. Yeah. And because of, you know, you guys and the videos I do, I want to, like, I don't know, like, a part of me just, it just kind of transformed. And another thing that made gaming way more crazier was the My Experience series. One of the greatest things, and I'm gonna admit this was one of the great, like, I can't even lie about this. Actually, I don't lie that much with you guys to begin with, but one of the greatest things I've ever come up with was the My Experience series. Every Little Liars theme of you playing a game, I don't even know what that means, but the My Experience series, when I started it, it was about anime, it was about comic books, it was about stuff. But when I morphed it into a series of video games, and treating it kind of like, you know how like some call me Johnny, Angry Video Game Nerd, Cat Icarus, you know how they made their own gaming series. My experience kind of molded into a video game review series in some ways. Hope you've played the game on live stream. Oh, Little Liars? No, I haven't played Little Liars on my channel. Sorry. I can check it out though. I can see like if it's like a retro or old thing. But anyways, the My Experience series, the reason why I say it's one of the greatest things I've ever done is not only after everything, but when I molded it into about video games, my video game knowledge expanded beyond belief. Like, I started with the classics like Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and then I expanded outside of Mario to Legends of Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Mega Man, Crash Bandicoot. And you can really thank Crash Bandicoot for also starting my journey in terms of 100%ing video games and stuff like that, because he was like one of the first video games I've ever 100%ed and took so much pride in by myself and all that, which was not even that far long ago, like maybe like 2018-ish. But my point is because of the My Experience series, I started to become more than just a normal gamer that just plays Call of Duty all day, which look, don't get me wrong, I like Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is not the same as it once was, and shooting games in general just kind of bore the fuck out of me. If it isn't Doom, Metroid Prime, so on. You know what I mean? There's some exceptions to the rule, but again, because of My Experience and what it did, it allowed me to become not only a full-fledged gamer, also living in where I live right now, also kind of turned me into a fucking gamer. So not only the My Experience series did that, but also my living conditions turned me into an introverted, full-fledged video game player. You know, that also makes YouTube videos on the video games he plays in review style or gameplay style, you know, of things. Have you watched the Mario movie? Yes, I love the new Mario movie. It's one of my favorites. And also because of My Experience, I started to become a retro gamer, an old school gamer, if you will. Now, what do I mean by old school? An old school gamer is where they start playing video game franchises from certain ages, like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, you know what I mean? Like the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, you know, mid 2000s, like 2010s, 2011s, because you can consider 2010 is a fucking decade old game. It's an old school game. 2010, 2009, that was forever ago, you know what I mean? So it's like you can consider that retro, and I have become a retro gamer and love the whole idea of old video games. Probably even more so than new games, but one of the worst parts if you become a retro gamer, and I know this deep down, is when you become so attached to these older franchises that are dead. I know Louis blasts me with this all the time. When you become a fan, and this is currently my problem when being a retro gamer, and this is probably what every retro gamer or some retro gamers face, is when they become so attached to a retro gaming franchise that is not really running anymore, or doesn't have any games in the franchise to kind of just, that is new, that's on new systems. You kind of run into, oh wow, you just got into a dead series, buddy. You know what I mean? You just got into a dead franchise that's not even worth coming back. And I'm always sitting there like, you know, I'm sorry that I just genuinely love all these old things, and they kind of give me the kick that new games just can't provide me right now. And I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but a lot of new games to me don't really hit and I'm not trying to, and trust me, I wasn't born in the 80s or the 70s, so it's kind of crazy. A 2000s baby is saying that games from early 2000s and 80s and 90s are the shit in comparison to a lot of these newer games, because a lot of these newer games are so internet based, multiplayer focused, and it kind of just loses the whole idea of gaming with your friends on a couch or so on and so on. And I just love the days of old school stuff where NES difficulty, or even if I get really mad at that stuff, but like, you know, the difficulty or the sprites, how things don't look super shiny and realistic to my fucking arm and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I love games that just that can just be games and ooze so much charm, and it just makes me so sad. And this is why what encouraged me to make this video, actually, and I'll read all the comments here in a second, was I was looking at the Punch-Out series, and its last game was in 2009, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, I want to send Next Level Games a fucking email, and not, obviously not a fucking anger email or anything, like, oh, what the fuck. No, like a nice email saying, hey, if it's at all possible, like, what's the possibility of a new Punch-Out, like, after all your other projects are done and stuff, what is the possibility of a new Punch-Out? Because some of these video game franchises that are old deserve either a comeback, and they deserve a comeback and a new game fucking each, to see how good the franchise is gonna sell in this modern day era of video gaming. Yeah, you have free skins. Fortnite, you like a game, it's like a shooting game, you can free skins and play with other people. Yeah, I know what the game is. The 80s, 2000s, whatever the heck, keyboard, I think. Do you play PC or controller? I play on controller, to answer your question. Same, to be honest, I like modern and old games, but I really love the creativity of some older games because they didn't have a lot to work with. Yeah, it's like the creativity for those older games is skyrocketed compared to today, where it's like you can play it safe and everyone's gonna fucking buy it anyway, you know, depending on the game. Also can kind of understand that feeling. That's me with a lot of stuff. I get that feeling. I just hate online mode sometimes. I sub. Thank you, Big Fridge. I appreciate you subscribing, man. But yeah, like, I look at all these franchises that don't have games, and it just makes me so sad. Like, it will leave me, it sometimes it really does leave me in a fucking state of like sadness, because I'm sitting there just with my own thoughts, like, why isn't Punch Out in 2024 with us? Or why isn't Donkey Kong in 2024 with us right now? These are some great why isn't Classic or X Series Mega Man in 2024 with us? Why isn't, where the fuck is Banjo-Kazooie? Where is Gex? Where is Conker? Where the fuck is Luigi's Mansion 4? I know that's not an OG franchise, that's dead, but keep that in mind. Like, where are a lot of these franchises with at least a brand new game? And I know Gex is getting a trilogy, but like, that we still have no idea when the release date is or when it's even coming out right now, because it hasn't, I mean, they gave us like an announcement trailer like 8 months ago, but we haven't seen shit from that Gex trailer since. But you get what I mean though, right? Like, where is Ghost and Goblins? Where is, you know, so many franchises that have so much potential in terms of gaming not here with us? And that's what sucks about being an old school / retro gamer, in my opinion, is that you end up falling in love with the whole genre of old school, and then, you know, it becomes a part of you, and then you realize, like, yo, homie, some of these OG games that you're playing, they do suck. There's definitely some retro games that suck dick, tons of balls, but some of these franchises aren't gonna live to where we're currently at in the gaming space. And you know what? I accept it obviously, but sometimes I really just can't accept it with some franchises because I really see some of those franchises or some of those games getting that at least remake or something treatment because it just fucking deserves it. And like I said, it pisses me off being a being a retro gamer all the time and hearing folks talk about, though, I can't wait for this new this, I can't wait for this new that. I'm like, dude, be grateful you even get a fucking game every year or every other year. Because I think about those dead franchises 24/7. That's the first thing that pops in my mind. I'm like, you know what? You better be lucky I've even told this to Louis quite a few times. I was like, dude, you better be lucky you get that new Dragon Ball game every other goddamn year because I don't get a fucking Gex 4 or I don't get a Conquer 2 or I don't get a Donkey Kong Country. Hold on, let me think. The fourth one was Returns, the fifth one was Tropical, fucking 6. I don't get a fucking Mega Man 12 or an X9. Or a fucking Conquer 2. You know what I mean? I don't get that shit. I literally have to fucking live every single day knowing a lot of the franchises I love are fucking dead. Dead in the water. And then I have to stick around for obviously I'm going to stick around the franchises that aren't dead. I'm not just going to be that dude that just can't find anything new. But, like, every single time I do find something new that I'm really into, it's still fucking dead. And retro gaming is not all bad, because there's tons of games that are becoming retro every single year. That you can get into and that are fantastic. I just recently found out about Punch-Out! And just recently playing it and so on. And I want that game to fucking succeed. Every single game I come across, new, old, semi-new, I want that series to fucking thrive because I can see the fucking good in it. I'm very passionate and I'm a very emotional person when it comes to video games. And ever since I moved into this place and became a fucking true gamer like Louis and my dad, I'm seeing the fucking epicness of being a gamer, because being a gamer is super fun. You get to go into these video game worlds that you could never have, or so on and so forth. Otherwise, it's fucking phenomenal being a gamer, but there's also a lot of consequences you have to deal with, or like I mentioned before about being a retro gamer, there's a lot of dead franchises out there that you possibly might like and realize once you play all their games, there's nothing fucking left except for replays and so on and so on. Or with modern games, you have to wait a year or two before you get the next version of said game, or 2 years or 3 years or 4, however long it takes to develop that bitch. Or if you're a retro gamer or just a regular gamer just waiting for a remake, it takes fucking forever sometimes, depending on the game or the franchise and something. Which is why being a gamer in all fields is better than just being a selective gamer, because this is coming from me. New person in the... I think new person in chat. I wish Kid Icarus got another chance. Yeah, like after Kid Icarus Uprising, like that man has just fucking been only known for Smash Brothers after Sakurai pseudo revived him back on 3DS. Ever since then, he's just been around. That shit pissed. And the thing is, it's even crazier for characters I don't even give a fuck about, because it's like, right? Like, let me be honest, right? Like Kid Icarus, I had no idea who he was until Smash Brothers, right? Same with Little Mac, but when I got into their series, I really started to give a fuck about each of them. You know what I mean? More than just being another character on Smash Bros. You know what I mean? Just the soul of the series, and I can see these series being fucking peak. And even if I'm not interested in it, I can, and if I have like an understanding of this series at all, right? Like an actual understanding of why this series is peak in a lot of people's eyes, I would give a fuck about that fandom, just telling them, bro, I hope you get that fucking game, bro. You know what I mean? Even if I don't necessarily play it myself. Sometimes even waiting for a re-release or a port takes forever, and some games need them. Exactly, as Clash, you're speaking my language. Like, I was thinking like Punch-Out Wii would definitely have sold great, even better than the original if it was ported over to the Switch, or at least, somewhere it would have probably done better than the Wii. Maybe, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but or at least give it like a new identity. And then what's so cool about being a gamer is watching all of the advertisements for said video game in the old days, dude. I love old, like, video game commercials, like Crash Bandicoot 2 commercials were so wacky, so fun. Punch-Out Wii commercials, I literally looked them up a few days back, maybe a week ago now, and I fell in love with them immediately. Fell in love with them sons of bitches. Watching old Super Mario Brothers All-Stars ads, or Super Mario Brothers World ads, and 3 ads, and Super Mario Brothers 1, Donkey Kong cereal ads, characters I love, Sonic ads. I love watching video game ads because they used to have so much charm and personality. Now video game ads are just either okay or you've done there, been that before. You know what I mean? Not really fully embracing that whole goofiness, that wackiness energy of your old advertisements. You know what I mean? Or you've already done that idea so many times that it's like it doesn't even have an effect on me anymore. And dude, I hear fucking munching on the other side, bro. And I think that's Afmal. Yeah, that is Afmal that I hear on there. But yeah, which so far, to give you guys a small update, I am struggling with My Street right now. I am struggling with the series right now. A small little update. I am struggling with it right now. I'm on episode 14 of something like that, and I am struggling. It is really hard for me to like really watch because of how all the characters are acting in it. You know what I mean, with the way they are, and I'm just like, dude, I had to be at my limit for the day because I just couldn't fucking take it. But anyways, nowadays game trailers are just gameplay and there's no effort to make them stand out. For real. Like, I love the old game commercials where it was people in costumes or whole skits before showing the gameplay. Yeah, because it would be more than just they would do the most up and beyond shit for a game. And that's why, like, when I see people in the modern day try to replicate that energy, like when Crash Bandicoot did it for Wampa League on the State of Play, I thought it was cringe then ultra exciting because it's just not the same, bro. You can't just do that in 2020 fucking 4 and expect people to get it, other than people like myself or people that lived in those times where commercials were fucking popping like that. You can't just do that in today's world. Which is why I'm like, being a gamer in today's time is fantastic because there's a fat variety to choose from. But it's also kind of a bad thing because a lot of the games that are coming out are mainly just third party, like the AAA studios making shit or safe games and not really giving a fuck about it anymore. And what also sucks about gaming is the platforming side of things. 2D and 3D platformers that aren't Mario and Sonic just die off in a week or two. And I can't even say that's cap because it even happened with Crash Bandicoot. I remember when Crash 4, for about a few weeks to maybe a month, that game was hot shit, and then it completely died out. No one's talking about it. See, Mario Wonder at least got people talking for 2 to 3 months straight about the game and the hype for it. The hype carried it for a few months, and then when the game came out, hype for it then also spread for a few weeks to a month, maybe 2 months, and then the game started slowly going out. But still, tons of videos are coming about Wonder because it's fucking Mario. Mario, and this is the sad part about platformers, and I want to say this. The sad part about platformers is, and I don't know if Louis will agree with me on this, Mario and Sonic are single-handedly carrying the fucking genre 24/7, 7 days a week. They are carrying the fucking genre. And every platformer that is not them is just picking up the fucking scraps they left. I swear to you, platforming video games, 2D, 3D, have not been the same since the 90s. The 90s and 80s. And you want to know what? Thanks to them goddamn shooter games that just blew up the genre, and more mature video game blew up the fucking genre. Now it's like 2D platformers. You're a fucking kid playing this shit. Or you were looked at as a kid back then for playing this shit. Playing Mario. Little baby game. Why don't you go play a real game with a dude with a machine gun ready to murk some people in GTA? That's the real shit right there. Which, you know, definitely made a lot of people be like interested in the genre, the shooting genre. But like, god damn, man, that's another thing about gaming that pisses me off, is being that. And I had to experience that most of my life, because I was playing Call of Duty and all those games when I felt like those games just didn't, you know, I liked them, but like they weren't like my Mario. They weren't my Sonic the Hedgehog. They weren't my Banjo-Kazooies or Punch-Outs or Pac-Mans even, or Donkey Kongs. They weren't my sort of game, because you guys know my sort of game when I play them. You know, I do love games in today's world. I don't want to disrespect them, that are actual fucking games, that aren't just shooter games for the 1 millionth time, you know. Like Fortnite, it used to be a battle royale, a typical one, but now it turned into this whole thing, which I can respect it a little bit more now because of that. Because it isn't just a regular battle royale game like Warzone and everybody else are, when they started copying the royale battle idea thing. Guess that's true. If Mario or Sonic did release a game, it'd probably be quiet on the platformer side of things. Yeah, like it would be quiet in terms of the main titles, because there's no Donkey Kong. That's also giving out some spotlight to the goddamn platformer scene. There's no Crash 95% of the time. There's no Mega Man. Like, you know what I mean? All the guys that represent the genre that isn't Mario or Sonic are just fucking ghosted the whole scene. You know what I mean? It's why I like looking at indie games, but I know since they're indie, they're invisible to anyone that isn't keeping up with them. Yeah, and that's the sad thing about indie is but thing is, S-Class, you got to realize this one too, or at least have this in mind, or you already have it in mind, and that's good too. Indie games are getting more and more popular as the year comes about, because people are seeing every single year that AAA games and all that stuff are becoming more and more safe and more shit as time moves on, and are trying to bait you out of your money through microtransactions like Blizzard is with like Diablo 4 or whatever they got going on, and like Call of Duty with their games, and Fortnite with their V-Bucks, you know what I mean? So each and every single year they're seeing that these games are getting shittier and shittier in terms of AAA. Let me go play something that's more indie, because indie is probably the only thing, and maybe a few gaming companies out there, like people who made the Mario plus Rabbids games and Next Level games, and some big companies out there that are part of the main three branches of gaming legends like Nintendo, Microsoft, Sega, or Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, you know, and so on. You know, a lot of these indie guys, they develop games for fun. They develop because they love developing games that they love to craft and make. Meanwhile, the big boys, their concern is making money, which makes sense. I would worry about making money, but you know, as they continue only worrying about making money and meeting deadlines and so on, a lot of those people constantly forget what gaming was all about in the first place. Kind of like what YouTube kind of forgot what it was about, broadcasting yourself, you know, instead of becoming a money-hungry motherfucker, because I remember YouTube when it wasn't about that, you know, and same with the gaming space. It used to not always be about money. It used to be about the players in question, that the game that they were buying, so on and so forth. Now it's all about the money, the greed, because inflation's even worse, or so on and so on. But even before that, you know, it was about money, because money talks. And I don't know how we're ever going to get out of that whole thing where the corporate big motherfuckers are just greedy and they just want money all the time. And also, gaming being $70. That's another thing. If you're a modern gamer, you have to deal with the whole $70 bullshit. And then we as retro gamers have to deal with fucking prices from that $70 that you guys have to pay for to 70 to 120, 200, $300 on fucking eBay because we're trying to find that one retro game off eBay or some shit. Like Punch Out Wii, $70 fucking dollars on Amazon or Walmart for fuck's sake. Because of how rare that game is. You know, that's like the negative sides of both. Sometimes 70 for a new game, or 60 isn't bad, but 60, 70 for that new game. And then, you know, same price for that old game, but it's getting more higher and higher because the game overall and shit, whatever. I know, and I'm aware not every indie game has been good, but I'm glad to see some of them get more traction. I am glad too. I'm always glad for that. Some big companies can be real lazy too, like EA. Yeah, laziness, you know, and overall losing their spark and creativity. That's why a lot of people are seeing like a lot of shooters and stuff go down. And that's why even I saw it as a gamer, because I remember when I was playing Call of Duty and all that other sort of stuff, I stopped playing because I broke my fucking television over Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I became more angry, more destructive over Call of Duty, and I did not want to play that stupid ass shit again. You know, and I'm glad I dropped Call of Duty for more of what I like to play now, but even now I still get mad and break stuff, but it isn't the TV at least. That's something I can say. Hasn't been the TV yet because I stopped myself or somebody stopped me before, but Crash 4 was pretty close, but that's probably the last time I'm going to mention that fucking furry fuck. Because I mentioned him so many times, even though that shit was back in like 2021 actually. So crazy. 3-4 years later, I'm still bringing up my past about that little fucking rat. But my experience with gaming overall, when I moved in here, was some of the best years of my life because I met, you know, Dave because of doing what I do now. I met Chris by doing what I do now. I met Lexi. I met US Class. I met, you know, Solar Jack. I met hundreds of people because of being a serious gamer, being invested in the games I play the way I play them, you know, even some games like mobile games like Bleach Brave Souls, which Bleach Brave Souls wasn't good for me, which everyone knows that. Also, leave a like on the video. Thank you. Dang, broke your TV over it? Yeah, pretty much, because I was talking to a friend, they were making fun of my cat, and that's a whole thing. I don't want to go into that. True, finding copies of old games can be a game depending on how rare it is. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Like, especially Wario World. That game was $150, $170, nearing $200. Because the game didn't sell like crazy. And just having a single copy is worth like $200-$300. Probably tops. Because it's such a rare game. I have it in its case. And I can sell it. Actually, we can maybe give it to a pawn shop or some shit. And I could probably get some money out that bitch. Something to check its value. You know what I mean? So, that'd be fucking dope. Actually, I might just start doing that. But for games that are not so easily findable. You know what I mean? Like Wario World, so on, so on. Because I haven't been playing it. As of late. I kind of don't want to go back to it after my rage-filled full experiences with it. That was a bitch. But that's Wario World, and, you know, and also being a gamer, you know, kind of led to me being a very angry motherfucker as time went along. Not just for the Crash stuff, but just in general, being a very angry person, just letting it all go. But also it led to multiple different emotions in me too. It's not just anger. Gaming has led to me to having some really sad moments, some really happy moments, but because of gaming, I pretty much have what I have now in this infamous My Experience series that I've crafted for myself, and it brought me so many things, and it showed me so many interesting game worlds, and I'm so happy to be a part of every single world, even if that gaming world really pissed me off and set me on video rants and so on and so forth. I'm still very happy of everything that I've done, even if things didn't turn out right. You should have a little money for yourself. Could be good. You can end up using that money to buy another game. Yeah, like dead ass. I'm like thinking about that shit. Like I was like, actually, you know what? Maybe I should do that. I could consider selling Wario World, see if that much, and then maybe possibly use that to get Thousand Year Door remake, because that'd be great. But I don't know where the closest fucking pawn shop for that shit is, you know, to give stuff like that away. And I don't know if there's a lot of legal or so on and so forth, you know, so I don't fucking know how much I could get for that. I could talk to Louis about that. Something like that. But yeah, overall though, I don't want to make this stream Omega forever, like 14, 15 hours long length stream or 12 hours. But, you know, but again, I want to remind you guys that gaming for me, my experience has pretty much led me down a path of happiness, sadness, tons of fucking anger, and all the emotions in between those. But I wouldn't change it for anything, because I've gotten so many good, bad moments out of it. Or should I say experiences, because get it? It's a My Experience series, so. And I wouldn't change any of those for the world. Because of all my gaming experience and all my gaming knowledge, I can talk to so many people and understand what they're going through in terms of the game, and they can just lend me the fucking game and say, hey, here, play this so you can understand and we can discuss, and maybe you can possibly make a video on it. One of my favorite things about being a gamer too, and also being a YouTuber, is people asking me to make a video on their favorite game. I remember Louis and maybe Chris or some people have done that to me once, where they asked me, yo, you need to make a video on this game, because this game is awesome, Alex. You need to do it. And you know, like my experience with Persona 5 Royal, you know, that was experience with Dave and I didn't come up with my experience for the game until we were halfway done with that playthrough. But that video is emotional and touching and very in the feels, if you want to check out another My Experience video where it's all in the feels. But hearing those beautiful retro gaming clickety clacks on the controllers of a GameCube and Wii remote and so on and so on is so fucking good, which is what I used in the thumbnail of this. After the video goes up, you'll see the thumbnail. I didn't put it up because I just wasn't feeling it, and I made it on my tablet instead of my iPhone. So like, and I know I've been doing My Experience like a million times, but you know, y'all gotta know, like, this is like my kind of like my baby series. Like after Bleach, you know, stopped being the hype thing, you know, My Experience kind of became like the new hype shit for me, and it's able to expand and become multiple different things. But anyways, and you know, and I'm not gonna treat this as this is my last gaming experience ever made, because there's gonna be tons of retro games I'm gonna be playing after this video is even uploaded, or just having it in general, because I feel like, you know, in the next few weeks I'm about to be loaded with retro games. Like I'm gonna try my best to get in the Castlevania series and see if I like that shit with Simon Belmont or all those guys, because I've seen some of their animes and I haven't played the games, but I remember playing Simon Belmont in Super Mario Crossover, that Flash game, and kind of liked his gameplay. But anyways, gaming is a fucking virtue, but if you can't afford it, I wouldn't recommend it, because especially because gaming is only going to get more and more expensive as time goes on. It's not going to get cheaper unless you go the route of the gamer that finds the deals, only gets things on the deals, when it's 30 to 40 to maybe $50. Maybe stick with that shit. And I would also recommend this. Don't be a 100% retro gamer, because you don't want to end up being one of those guys that says retro gaming is 100% better than new gen gaming when you haven't even touched a new gen game, okay? Only say that shit is if you've actually touched a game that is in the year that we're currently fucking in. You know what I mean? Like 2024, you play a game that's 2024 related. And then you play a 1990s. Just be ready for getting lost depending on the Castlevania. Oh, I'm already ready for getting lost if it's Castlevania. Castlevania is that series that goes fucking everywhere. But, I'd mainly recommend being the all-rounder gamer, where you play games from all sorts of ages and generations and so on and so on. So you can see how gaming has kind of grown and evolved as over time. You know what I mean? I'd be one of those, which I've tried my best to be one of those, but I always kind of lean more on the old school, because there's the old school library is so open to me and so vast, because emulation's a fucking thing. You know what I mean? Compared to new games where I have to pay $60 just to fucking get the experience. Meanwhile, old games, I mean, most times, you can buy a physical copy of the game and then, use it to emulate and so on and so on. At least you bought the game first. But you know what I mean? Like, dude, emulation is so easy, and you get tons of fucking free games that you can just get that the companies aren't making money off of anymore or don't even care about. Another side of gaming actually would be emulation. And me and my brother, we have been emulating games for eons. We have been emulating games all the way back in the earlier 2000s with the Super Nintendo emulators and Super Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 we've emulated fucking millions of times, man. And of all the consoles, it was always Nintendo ones that we emulate the most in terms of video game and emulation, yeah. Me right now, because I'm not buying $60 to $70 games. Yeah, for real. Like the vast library of emulation is so much better than like paying for a fucking $70 game right now in terms of like my scenario, because I don't have a job, so I can't just fucking pay for all that stuff. And same with Louis now, so it's like you can't just fucking do that 24/7, So it's like emulation's what I kind of got in the goddamn meantime. Unless it's like a flash game or a mobile game for free and stuff, which other than emulating games, which emulating games can be great, but it's also a piece of shit / a bitch on the PC. Another side of gaming, mobile gaming. I don't mobile game too much. I do remember mobile gaming Dokkan Battle, Treasure Cruise, Bleach Brave Souls, the Naruto one, because Chris kept telling me to get into it. Or actually, I did get into it a few times before Chris told me maybe one time in the past. But all those games are shit.
Yeah.
They're just gotcha games. I don't like playing them. Not anymore. I mean, after realizing that's what they were, I stopped putting that much time into them. Like right now, I'm playing Restar. Is it like Re or Rystar? I think it's Rystar. That sounds actually how you're supposed to say it, Rystar. But yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know what my next game's going to be, because, well, actually, no, I know it now. It's going to be Donkey Kong Country 3 for the GBA, because I need to start. I haven't started yet because I've been so focused doing little baby workouts, watching my dogs a little bit, because today my dad had to go somewhere, fucking chilling out because my arms and legs are kind of sore. That's why I haven't really given it a play. There's so many things today why I haven't given DKC a play. And also watching AFMAO My Street Season 1, which I mentioned before I'm struggling with a lot just to tolerate some of the shit. Which I'm surprised I tolerated as much as I fucking did, but because I would not have given this shit the time of fucking day most other times. But anyways, mobile games can be a good way to pass time. I'm just not a gacha game person. That's true. I'm not sure. I just know it's an old platformer by Sega. Oh man, you know what? You might actually give me a game suggestion. You said it was by Sega? Is it on Sega Genesis by any chance? Because I think I have an emulator for that, and I might actually just fucking cup that game. It's not fast like Sonic though. Rice Star is a little star dude that's kind of stretchy arms, and that's the main gimmick. I think. Excuse me. Why is the series bad? No. No, I'm actually getting kind of interested. Not gonna lie. Wait, what the series bad? Wait, what series? Ray Star? Rice Star? Or... Because I'm confused. Wait.
Oh, shit. I'll buy an extra. I'll make it 101%, 2%.
Eh. That's also another reason why I play older games. I have easier access to them, yeah. Yeah, like, easier access to them. Yeah, I think it's Sega Genesis, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, if it is, like, I really want to get into it, because I have an emulator for that. No, the series is, but yeah, with gacha games and other mobile games, like, I don't play too much mobile gaming, because I used to back in the day when I played mobile Minecraft. Me and Louie used to play mobile Minecraft, like, 24/7. Yeah, it was peak stuff until Microsoft came in and ruined everything. The Minecraft one.
You mean Pocket Edition Minecraft?
Yeah, well, Louis, same fucking shit, man. When Microsoft came in, it ruined Pocket Edition, for real. Well, it ruined it and then also made it better. It's a mix. But going back to Raystar, I would say give it a try. You might like it. You know what? I might give it a try, and I might give it its own little video. How long is that game? Louis, look up Raystar. Like Ristar. No spaces. And tell me what system it's for. Because S-Class is recommending me one. Or she's giving me a recommendation. I'm about to fucking take it. Because...
It's on GameCube.
GameCube?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Nintendo Switch. It's on the Sega Genesis.
Okay. Sega Genesis. Okay, I can work with that.
Okay.
Is there multiple games in the series, or is it the one?
No, there's only one.
There's only one?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. You know what? I gotta give that a try on the Sega Genesis. But, like, nah, because, like, I'm having this Punch-Out thing. And, you know, I kind of hate going through this motion where, I'm kind of just... I can't stop thinking about that game for eons later. Like, eons. And, like, I just start sending the developer of the game or whoever fucking emails 24/7 about the game and, how they should kind of allow me to play it on, modern-day systems. You know, kind of like Rayman 4, actually. Still haven't recovered. I still haven't recovered from not having Rayman 4 in my hands. On this planet. Sure, I may have gotten Super Mario RPG, but that was only a piece. I need the other 28,000 pieces. I need that Punch-Out. That'd be a piece. I need that new DKC. That'd be another. Alright? I need that fucking Gex 4. And I need Conquer 2, 3, and 4.
And Banjo-Kazooie.
And Banjo 4. Or Banjo 3. The real Banjo 3.
Not Nuts and Bolts. That was shit.
Not Nuts and Bolts and not that GBA platformer. Fuck those.
That game was shit.
You know? I need all that. Because, if I don't get that... I might cause a riot in Minecraft. Might cause a riot in Minecraft. Haha. But yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much my experience with gaming in a nutshell. Is I love gaming to death. I became a gamer in this fucking house. And everything I decide to do with my time is because of you guys. And all the new old games that come out, so on and so on. It's because of you guys and your constant support of me and the time of making these videos. We're at 702 videos now. I want you guys to know that. Because you guys constantly keep giving me constant motivation to keep uploading, keep posting voiceovers, anime mini reviews, my experience stuff, just being me. You guys allow me to show and express what I can do for the world, for the fucking internet to see. I'm literally getting comments now on my part 3 JoJo video telling me part 4 is about to be lit. And I can't wait to experience part 4, because I kind of either A, need to rewatch it again, or just remember all the good stuff. Probably going to remember all the good stuff, and I'm probably going to get all my memories of part 4 back as soon as I look at that bitch, because that's what happens sometimes. I remember I literally gave Chris a description of the entire The Batman movie after one frame of looking at the movie.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because part 4 is lit. Part 4 is lit.
Part 4 is peaking.
But, yeah, I remember, like,
This bitch is down my hallway.
yeah, but anyways, I think I'm gonna get out of here because it is a little late. It's like,
Don't you have anything better to do?
I don't know what time it is. I'm gonna have to, so we're gonna have to end this one, and kind of like, I don't know how loud I was, so I can't really tell if I was being loud. Well, being loud to you, Louie, and being loud to Dad is two different people, so I don't fucking know. I have to think about that. Not now, but I have to think about that. So, you know what I mean? But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, spending some time with me, allowing me to talk about my experience being a gamer. And I would really love another Punch-Out. Crash Bandicoot 5 would be nice. An actual Crash Bandicoot 5 that's not as hard as Crash Bandicoot 4. That'd be great. Rayman 4 would be fucking lit. A new Donkey Kong would be lit. 2D or 3D, I'll take it. Don't do Donkey Kong 64 Part 2 again, though. Would not want to see that. New Mario game, 3D Mario, I need it. Luigi's Mansion 4, I need it. Pretty much every game series I love right now, I want a new entry in. Thank you. Come again, y'all. Deuces. Wait, I can't click the X button. It's not working. Okay, now it's working. Okay, now really, deuces, y'all. Bye, chat.